topic for today is opportunity or dilemma, doing business in volatile macroeconomic condition. We are undergoing through a very unprecedented times. We all know the global economy, somewhere there is raw material supply chain equation has changed. The country's GDP, the whole debt ratio, they are changing dramatically. And with that, many of the CEOs, chairmen, and the country leaders, along with ministries deliberating today, is it time for an opportunity or is it time for dilemma? So therefore, I'll shed some insights on it. Today, this next 15 minutes, we are going to deliberate together. If we as leaders can leverage this situation, or we actually make others leverage this situation. So that's where I'll make an attempt to share 3 such insights. My next 15 minutes will be around how world and industry is changing, what it means. 7 such things that will take our country ahead. And key sector insights as on today from 2024 to 2030. If somebody wants to grow in their respective sectors, what those practical opportunities lie. So that's where I'll be sharing the insights. What we knew 20 years back, that how the companies used to cherish being leaders, today they are not. And the whole stack ranking has changed. Yes, of course, there has been a large play of technology, but then there is also many other business imperatives that actually made this stack ranking change. Lots of new players have emerged in the world. They are actually giving lots of challenge and threat to many of these so-called biggies who actually had the largest market cap, and now it's slipping away. We are progressing around it. Just about few years back, this dream was not even discussed. Today we are marching towards it. If you will see on this, one very interesting statistic says our employment rate, which is at a 387 million today, this is gonna become double, which means that there is a whole throughput of GDP per capita income, which actually is gonna touch the country in a way that the country becomes the country of buyers. So if this has become a country of buyers, then as CEOs, chairmen, and the country leaders sitting in the room, are you ready to actually make your whole production go up, make your sales force go up, make your business vision and thinking go up? If you will try figuring out the various sectors around the world, if we see the world GDP growth, it is about to grow 2.5x, approximately from 80 trillion to 258 trillion. Now with that humongous upside, the industries which are going to participate in this, as you can see, and this is primarily from the vantage point of India, we will have lots of play in services sector. It has always been. We have been a services economy. We are known for our quality. We also are pretty much progressing on the manufacturing front, which used to be a single-digit contributor, now has come up to double-digit. The other very important area wherein lots of work investment that already has happened and is about to take a surge is the infrastructure. And besides that, the other areas which we as a country never used to ponder upon started to take shape. And those are around utility, extraction and mining, and agriculture. So this is how the participation in the economy is going to take place if one has to capitalize on the GDP growth and the India growth. Now with that, what is that 7 things that actually will get our country to that level? And if you know about it, then you know that how you actually have to think about your business and therefore take and participate in this growth. And we already have started doing. You as private sector already used to do it. But nonetheless, as country also, there is lots of partnership that is into play. And that partnership not only talks about policy today. If you will see, 79% of ease of doing business, we actually have risen up in terms of ease of doing business as how it used to be before. The whole finance sector, I'm not sure that how many of us are actually keeping a tab except Shanti and few of the other VC friends in the room, Kunal, Shanti and many others. There is a huge FII inflow. There is a tremendous wealth that actually is kind of poured in the country today. And there is a huge VC funding which actually is looking at our country, how to capitalize and get the best ROI on it. Infrastructure, we are actually in the digital infrastructure today, almost arguably number one when it comes to fintech. And even on the whole cyber, as much as we may not want to believe, but the truth is that we are one of the most secured countries, may not be one, but certainly ranging into 1 to 15. So if that actually brings the delight, one very other important partnership which is happening across the world with consortium, government and industry bodies around talent and labor. My friend Gaurav, Anshuman, they would be talking more about it. But these are some important partnerships that's happening. Besides that, there is lots of policy ease that is under works. As much as you may want to believe with some or the other newspaper articles few weeks back that the businesses have been shut down, it is not about a stringent regulatory policies. It is about, are we doing the business right in order to add value to the country and economy and individuals. With that, not only us, the countries across are actually taking very aggressive steps, and no way we are lagging behind. We pretty much are marching along with them, if not faster, and we intend as a country to actually participate and capture that opportunity. We unfortunately also as a country have to focus on few areas wherein certain deliberations have started happening. This is the third lever, which is around social infrastructure. We arguably would be one of the best in digital infrastructure when it comes to payment, but then on social infrastructure, the other countries, they invest approximately 20% in two important categories, which is healthcare and education. We unfortunately invest between 2 to 5%, ranging to max 6%. Now, until unless that changes, though we may grow, but we may not be able to sustain that growth. Besides that, there is third sector, which as a country, many of you would be participating indirectly, few of you would be participating directly. The defense sector. Many of important countries in the world have a continuous investment around defense capabilities. And as a country, we have some opportunity to relook at the defense budget as well. The other important lever that our country is thinking upon, and many of us in private sector already have started showcasing our mettle to the world, which is around modern technologies. But it's equally important to understand that our largest public sectors, as well as ministry, as well as the central body such as GEM, such as various other important NDHM, etc., the platforms that are coming in, they leverage modern technologies. The intent to actually utilize technology to leverage the country's social infrastructure, GDP and the well-being is tremendously high as compared to what it used to be in the past. The cyber risk, and I have few friends who will talk more about it, but cyber risk is reality. Though we would be amongst the 10th to 12th around the world to have thought about it early, but then there's miles to go. As the technology is changing, the numbers are volatile and we may slip behind if the investments around that does not go in. The good news is that as a country, we are taking an equilibrium position. Few of the developed countries on data policy, they have gone extreme, wherein if you are trying to not safeguard the PII and the private data or the payment data, your businesses could be shut down overnight. And there are few industries or the few countries wherein this is very lenient. Now, either of the extremes are not good for the country and the well-being of the community of that country. And we as a country, as you know, the current GDPR policy or data policy and now the AI policy which is under works, there is tremendous amount of equilibrium that is being thought upon, and therefore the focus has started emerging at a central ministry level, at a state level, and I'm sure at a private level. With this, 7 levers that our country today is thinking, and question is that as leaders, can you participate? Now, if as leaders you participate, how to participate? You all are working into one or the other category of sectors, maybe two. If you are a family business, maybe three. But then how to participate, where the opportunity lies. And that brings the contextuality of my third section, wherein I will be sharing insights that as sectors, how these developments look today, and therefore what it means. First, very important sector, agriculture and consumer. Can I see a raise of hands? How many of you are into agriculture? Okay, hardly 1% of the room. Now here, is that an opportunity? I leave it up to you to deliberate. But then if you see, and there are small text, so maybe just to contextualize it for you, in oil and seeds, we as a country have started thinking that how we become the exporter, then a consumer. We also have pretty much comprehensive program around dairy development, and I'm sure in newspapers you would be reading about it. We also are very serious about blue economy. We call it as blue economy 2.0. You also know it from the perspective of ESG in private sector. So there is lots of work and participation that has started happening in this. The second is automotive. In automotive, if you will see the today PLI scheme and the auto components, the budget has been raised from INR 604 crores to 3.5k crores. The FAME 2, which is extended in FY25 with a budget of 2.671 crore. We also have various government focus on the EV infrastructure. I'm sure you know few of the automotive leaders sitting in the room would be participating in that journey, but this is only going to grow. Education. There is a humongous impetus on education. If we have to sustain what we are building, this is one of the most critical pillar. And there is already a budget increased by 6% to INR 1.2 lakh crores. There is also the government schools funding, which is from the Pradhan Mantri Yojana. There has been a INR 6k crore that is pretty much getting invested. With financial services, this is one of the backbone of the country, not just for India, for any country in the world. And there is a humongous impetus in terms of investment into this. Lots of investment in public sector is also happening as I speak. And in that, few of the numbers that we can think it through is that our fiscal deficit of 5.8%, which we have achieved in FY24, we intend to bring it to 5.1% to 4.5%. That is a humongous crawlback. Though the numbers may look small when you think it from your business perspective, but when it comes to country, you actually can create another Maldives around it. So with that, if you see the credit assistance, it is a 78 lakh to street vendors, that is 78 lakh crore to street vendors that actually is gonna be invested under PM Samriddhi Yojana. You also have Gift City that is getting incubated. I'm sure few of you recently would have heard about it in newspapers or television. That is gonna be another very important financial hub for the country, and there is a huge infrastructure development that already is under play. The other important sector, and many of you would be participating as private businesses there, is healthcare. In healthcare, the NDHM coming in is going to be a game changer. Are we thinking about how will we participate? The whole Ayushman Bharat health coverage, which is also known as ASHA, for ASHA and Anganwadi folks, there is a humongous investment that is under plan. There is also various schemes in maternal and child health care. Though this has been a continuous endeavor as a country since we are a growing country, but this year there has been a humongous impetus and focus how to actually structurally safeguard this. So healthcare is another very important sector which is to look upon. The core for any country and where the exports and imports equation actually lie, the chemical and fertilizers. If you will see, there is an import substitution, 100 metric ton of the coal gasification, and the capacity has been announced to be set up by 2030. What it means is that we have been consumer of coal and such raw materials in the past. How can we be exporter of it? And few of you who are into this mining industry can actually think it through in terms of opportunity. There is also bio-based chemicals. There is a scheme which is actually underway and getting rolled out as I speak. The whole idea again is that how to have the financial aid available so that we become self-reliant. With that, the other very important industry is metal mining. And as you know, this is again a backbone for any country. And as a country, we are very focused on it. We pretty much in steel sector has increased our outlay by 3.6x, which actually is humongous if you see it from any other country perspective. We also have an infrastructure spending, which actually has risen by 11%, which now is 3.4% of our GDP. Infrastructure will be a big play, and primarily to support our manufacturing, mining and chemical industry. The PM Gati Shakti, as you would have heard about it, many of you into the manufacturing who has to use the road transportation, the PM Gati Shakti is gonna change the whole dimension of how you do business. As in software, we say TAT and SLA post-production. So your TAT and SLA for your product to reach to another supplier or manufacturer will come down dramatically. And think about it, if you become efficient by 20%, how much of efficiency you actually bring into your P&L. Oil and gas, very important sector, very difficult sector. But again, here there is a humongous focus. We want to be a net zero country by 2070. However, many of the countries in Davos recently in World Economic Forum have participated. As a country, India also is aggressively participating into it. And with that, there is a 100 metric ton, classification, liquefaction, factory establishment. It is happening. The CNG for transport and PNG for domestic use. Many of you would have seen dramatic changes if you visit the villages for the people who have gray hairs to no hairs. People like me still visit our village from our roots are from, and we see tremendous amount of change happening in both CNG as well as PNG. Power and renewables, again, this has a tie-up with net zero, and there is a humongous Panchamrit goal. If you will go through your current FY24 budget planning that has come out, it is known as Panchamrit goal, wherein ensuring high resource efficient economic growth for energy security, availability, accessibility and affordability. Triple A in software, triple A means automated, 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 all failovers automated and not manual. As a country, we are going triple A, and which ensures the continuity of the business. We also are empowering 1 crore households with 300 units monthly free electricity. No joke for a country of our scale and size. As much as we may want to talk about it from the behind, this actually in your MBA days you reflect upon, it is known as multiplier effect. If the money is poured into the market, that money circulates in the market, and the principle of economics say that if the money circulation is continuous, then only multiplier effect comes in. So this is the maths behind why this particular money is getting poured in and how this is going to create wealth. Technology, media and telecom. This has been an eye connoisseur for all of us. Few of the media personals sitting in the room, some very interesting insights and opportunities. As you would know, we have METI, and METI has increased its budget allocation by 30%. There is a tremendous push on technology which is happening at the METI side. There is a corpus of INR 1 lakh crore to be established for financing the private sector with 50 years interest-free loan to scale up research and innovation in sunrise domains. So if you are not in sunrise domains, and I leave that homework to the audience that go back and see what is sunrise domains. But if you are one of them, then this is an opportunity to capitalize upon. And there are new schemes already. Few of you are participating with startups. I have my dear friend Kunal, who also invests in country startup along with Anshuman and Jivesh and many others in the room, who actually are the backbone of the startup industry, keep investing, helping them grow and add to the economy. Travel, cities and infrastructure. This is a domain which is actually starving. But with the advent of infrastructure impetus, this is again taking a shape. The infrastructure budget has increased by 11.1% to INR 11.1 lakh crores, accounting to 3.4% of our GDP. 3.4% of our GDP means in APAC, you wrap up 60% of the countries, they become yours. So that's the kind of scale when you think about this 3.4% for the scale of our country. We also have Pradhan Mantri Yojana, Gramin Yojana, as you are aware about. There is a 3 crore housing units highlighted, with plans to add 2 crore more for rural housing. So there is a Yojana around it and there is a budget allocation. And then there is an activation of 517 new routes under the UDAN carrying over 1.3 crore passengers. Means whatever X that you see today in hospitality industry is gonna take shape in terms of plus 1.3 crore passengers participating in this change. With that, if I don't talk about the Gen AI opportunity, it will be a miss. As the event talks about AI possibilities, we are sitting on 120 billion of TG here. You actually can capitalize on this, as world globally is counting on this money to capitalize. 6 billion of that money has come to our country in the form of various investments or R&D and innovation. Benefit that industry is seeing, many of you would be participating in that. There is a software developer productivity that is about to be touted. There is a increase in retailer conversion which is being touted. There is a reduction in biopharma research and innovation and getting the drugs to the market, which is downside by 21 days, means efficiency by 21 days. Humongous. There is a 98% accuracy rate in your financial institution, means your UPI, means I think few of the folks who are from Amazon here can understand 95N. Out of 100 transactions, 95 should pass. Now we are talking about 98%, which is way more different when it comes to money. So likewise, there is some fundamental contextual numbers that actually people are clocking in around the world, and therefore that money what you see as an opportunity. With that, if you will see the industry, there is a CAGR of 75% of growth from now till 2027 in Gen AI that is about to get clocked. As I speak, there are real-time use cases which is getting developed in the country. 3 of them I am personally participating in terms of develop the Gen AI use case, which is gonna do the ops optimization or the revenue growth for few of the largest companies which contributes to India GDP. If you will see, it is not just BFSI sector. There is also consumer, healthcare, media and public sector, which is, as I speak, is pretty much implementing or toying around, and therefore the CAGR around it on an average, if we see it at an industry, there will be a average of 50% of the CAGR uplift that is about to happen between now and 2027. So question for us, I leave you with the thought, all the leaders, the country spokesmen, the startup founders, the academicians, is it an opportunity or dilemma that we are into, in spite of the world undergoing through a massive different scenario in which the business operates? Thank you so much. It was a pleasure and honor to share the insights with you today.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.